I genuinely believe that if you want to know if a leader truly has the people's mandate, well, there's only one real way to find out. Dissolve parliament and go for a snap general election. Everything else is just speculation, isn't it? It's kind of like trying a new mummic stall. You can read all the Google reviews, sure, but until you actually taste the Tariq and nasi lemak yourself, how do you really know if it's the real deal? And this very idea, this call for immediate elections, it's really shaking up Malaysia's political scene right now. There's a lot of chatter, a lot of strong feelings on both sides. What do you make of this? Do you think it's the right time for the country to head back to the polls?
Okay, so let's try and unpack this a bit. The former Prime Minister, Tun Mahathir Mohamad, has recently put out a very public challenge to our current Prime Minister, Anwar Ibrahim. He's basically asserted that the only democratic way to figure out genuine public support right now is an immediate general election. It's not just a suggestion, it's a direct call.
Right. And Tun Mahathir's reasoning behind this challenge, well, it's quite pointed. He claims that the members of parliament, the us currently supporting the Prime Minister, aren't doing it freely. He's suggesting they're acting out of fear.
Fear? Fear of what, exactly?
Well, he suggests it stems from potential legal repercussions or maybe the fear of losing their constituency allocations if they were to, withdraw their support. That's a pretty serious claim. It implies the current government's stability might be, well, a bit fragile.
And he didn't stop there, did he? He specifically alleges that Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim didn't actually win his position through the popular vote. Instead, Tun Mahathir claims Anwar became PM by effectively halting a leader's trial to get their party's backing.
Yeah.
That suggests a sort of trade-off, politics over justice.
It's a very sharp accusation, yeah, aimed right at the legitimacy of the current government.
And then there was that point about the recent anti-Anwar rally. He basically said, look, if Anwar's side claims only 15,000 people showed up, then Anwar should be totally confident about winning an election, shouldn't he? Like, why hesitate if your support is supposedly so strong?
Exactly. It's a logical prod almost.
And these statements, this challenge, it really stirred things up, didn't it? Especially online. The public reaction has been, well, quite something.
Oh, absolutely. What's really fascinating here isn't just the challenge, but the sheer volume and the intensity of the public comments that just flooded social media right after. And you have to say, the overwhelming feeling, it seemed mostly negative towards Tun Mahathir himself. A lot of netizens expressing just deep frustration and a really clear desire for political stability.
Yeah, it feels like more than just disagreement, almost like weariness.
Exactly. A collective exhaustion with the constant political drama.
It's quite striking how many comments focused right in on his age. Pretty blunt, some of them. Suggestions he should retire, focus on his health or religious duties. You saw comments like, Sabar sikit boleh tak lama dah lagi tu to in parliament kan bubar. Basically saying, can you be patient? Parliament dissolves in 2 years anyway. Maybe you can field a 102-year-old candidate then if you live that long.
Yeah.
Maybe lose your deposit twice. Ouch.
That's sharp.
And others saying things like, Zaman tunda berlalu sedarna negara kita perlukan perubahan, Tun's era is over, realize the country needs change. And besora jela, focus PD, kerja tuambal. Just retire, focus on charity work, let the younger generation manage the country. It seems like people are ready to move on.
Indeed. And these calls for retirement often went hand in hand with direct references to his last election performance. Many people online pointed straight to him losing his deposit in Langkawi,
Right.
which, is a big deal politically, failing to get enough votes to even get your deposit back.
Right. The message being,
The public's already spoken. We saw comments like, Yigtala ditolak rakyat ton, hilang deposit typis PSTBS, tun melivia genus tak malu. Saying, you were rejected, lost your deposit, but as usual, you're shameless and won't admit it.
pretty harsh.
Very. And others like, Tun bukan DPT undi pon, penggundi Langkawi pon tulak ton. Tun didn't even get votes. Langkawi voters rejected you until you lost your deposit. Stark reminders.
And then there's this other theme that kept coming up, this perception of his constant interference with different prime ministers over the years.
Ah, yes, the historical pattern argument.
Exactly. One comment really laid it out. Platun, saya kesian tenggo, kerap sangat usiko. Rani naftun, I feel bad seeing the insults because you constantly bother people. Najib's time, Pak Law's time, Muhyiddin's time, even the issues with the United Malays National Organization you were involved. Enough. Don't let people criticize you even after you're gone.
That's quite personal.
And another one, tracing it back further, Sejarah Tun memang mintak semua PM turun, saying his history is asking every PM to step down. From Tunku Abdul Rahman, Hussein On, Pak Law, Najib, right up until he stepped down himself. and then just kept asking every subsequent PM to step down. It suggests, a pattern.
And alongside all that, a really significant concern, something that clearly hits home for ordinary Malaysians, is the sheer cost and the instability of frequent elections. People were very direct about the money. Comments like, "Board of PRU, berapa baik lagi duit negara kabis?" How much more national money will be spent on a general election? Just wait till the term ends. 5 years.
Makes sense.
And another one, even more direct. Nak buat PRU, nak kari duit RM1 bill plus lu, kami rakyat makhaini nak karja kare rezeki untuk keluarga se. We need to find over R1 billion first. We common people just want to work and earn a living.
That really cuts through the politics, doesn't it?
It does. And you feel the weariness in comments like, "Kami tak larat nak pru dalam masa TJH Bengalni, tolong latun." We're tired of midterm elections. Please don't. Just wait. This really speaks volumes about economic priorities for many people.
Yeah, it seems like a really strong feeling underneath all this is just let politicians focus on governing, fix the economy, stop the constant politicking. You saw really powerful comments like, can we focus on growing the nation first now? Why not you focus your influence to create impact on economy, peace, and growth?
A plea for constructive action.
Right. And KZN rakyat kalau politik asik tak stable, bukan semua org ada pension atau harta keluarga billion. Pity the people if politics are unstable. Not everyone has pensions or billions to face economic crises. Some even used really strong terms, didn't they? Describing his past rule as cuckoo busy and iron fist, or saying he's currently Maroyan, like rambling or delirious. That shows real frustration.
Yes. And beyond that, there were these more subtle but quite pointed comments hinting at his wealth or maybe past actions, suggesting underlying suspicions, like, "Duit ku dapat balik kiton." Has your grandchild's money been returned, Tun? Which seems to refer to a recent news story. And another one connecting potential investigations into political figures' families, maybe suggesting Tun fears similar scrutiny for his own family. "Kop ko Tun pun takut kalau anakku Tun terkena siasatan juga ke." Maybe Tun is also afraid his children or grandchildren will face investigation. That's why he wants the PM out quickly.
That's reading a lot into it, but it shows the kind of thinking out there.
It does. And that Malay idiom, kata dulang paku serpi, kata orang awak yigalebi, basically the pot calling the kettle black, it reflects a real cynicism about the motives. So if you tie all these different threads together, these comments, they paint a picture of a pretty significant part of the public that really values stability right now, especially with the economic situation. Stability over, perhaps, immediate political change. That phrase, "Kami rakyat makhaini nak kerja cari rezeki untuk keluarga," we common folk just want to work and provide for our families. It really captures that core feeling, I think.
A plea for just getting on with life.
Exactly. Less drama, more focus on everyday realities.
So given all this feedback, this quite vocal public sentiment online, what does it all mean for the political landscape in Malaysia right now? It feels like a real push and pull between democratic principles and, well, practical governance.
It really raises a huge question, doesn't it? In a democracy, how do you balance that right to challenge power, to demand accountability through elections, with the need for stability so the government can actually function? Tun Mahathir's call for elections is on one side, but it clashes head-on with this apparent public weariness, this fatigue with constant political fights, and, crucially, the massive financial cost. We're talking hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of ringgit for every general election.
That cost is not trivial.
Not at all. It's a huge strain on resources.
And that fatigue you mentioned, it feels like a dominant theme. Like everyday Malaysians are just tired of the drama. They want to focus on their jobs, their families, see some steady progress, not another hugely expensive, disruptive election campaign right now.
Yeah, it's a very pragmatic viewpoint emerging, and many netizens were really explicit about it. They said they prefer to just wait for the next scheduled election in 2027. Let the current government finish its term. Let them, show what they can do without being constantly interrupted.
Give them a chance to deliver, basically.
Right. Comments like, "Better tunggu tempo luput, ada tu kahun lagi." Better to wait till the term expires, 2 years left. It's not fair to dissolve parliament now. Lots of work isn't finished. Even 5 years might not be enough to show results. Let the current PM serve 2 or 3 terms.
Wow, suggesting multiple terms.
Yeah, and simply Malaysia needs a stability. That really sums up this desire for continuity. It suggests maybe a shift in priorities for a lot of people, effectiveness over constant electoral cycles.
So it's pretty clear Tun Mahathir's challenge has, well, definitely lit a fire online, caused quite a stir. But maybe more importantly, it's revealed this really deep-seated public desire for stability, for an end to the constant politicking, for leaders to actually focus on the country's progress, the economy, rather than what many people clearly see as just endless political games.
Indeed. And this whole dialogue, or maybe this very public pushback against calling for elections, it really highlights how the relationship between the Malaysian public and its politicians is evolving. It's becoming more vocal, perhaps more direct. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it, what actually constitutes democratic support today, especially when public feeling online is so strong, so immediate, yet also seems so tired of constant upheaval.
That's a really interesting thought to end on. What do you think is the ultimate test of a leader's mandate in this kind of environment? And how does a country like Malaysia find that balance, between the democratic right to challenge and the stability needed to actually grow and prosper? Definitely something to keep thinking about.